Lesson 25 Prophecy by Symbolic Actions, Part 9. Dig a hole through the wall and carry your baggage out. Scripture reading Ezekiel chapter 12, verses 1 through 4. Introduction. God commanded the prophet Ezekiel to dig a hole through the wall and carry his baggage out. Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 3 states, "Therefore, son of man, prepare for yourself baggage for exile and go into exile by day in their sight. Even go into exile from your place to another place in their sight. Perhaps they will understand, though they are a rebellious house." Baggage is the belongings put together quickly in time of refuge, and it foreshadows how the Israelites will have to flee. In this lesson, we will examine the 9th prophecy by symbolic action. Number 1. Meaning of the symbolic action. The 9th prophecy of symbolic action can be mainly divided into 3 parts. First, prepare the baggage by day. Ezekiel chapter 12 verse 3 starts by saying, "Therefore, son of man, prepare for yourself baggage for exile and go into exile by day in their sight." Ezekiel chapter 12 verse 4 also starts with, "Bring your baggage out by day in their sight," as baggage for exile. Here, baggage refers to belongings such as staff, pots, bowls, food, and money that are quickly put together in times of fleeing. The term go into exile is gala in Hebrew, meaning to uncover or remove, and it is used commonly when a captive is stripped naked and dragged away. Therefore, God told Ezekiel to move his baggage as if he were being dragged away like a captive. Although he was a prophet, it was very difficult to stand almost naked during the daytime and carry out the baggage like a captive being dragged away. This shows that obeying the word requires overcoming even our own shame and humiliation. Second, dig a hole through the wall and go out at evening. In the second half of Ezekiel chapter 12 verse 4, God commands, "Then you will go out at evening in their sight, as those going into exile." And then in chapter 12 verse 5, dig a hole through the wall in their sight and go out through it. When people were getting ready to sleep at sunset, Ezekiel tore down the wall by beating it down with a hammer. People probably called him crazy and screamed at him to stop, but Ezekiel, being mute, could not say a word and only continued to tear down the wall. Third, load the baggage on your shoulder and carry it out in the dark while covering your face so that you cannot see the land. Ezekiel chapter 12 verse 6 states, "Load the baggage on your shoulder in their sight and carry it out in the dark. You shall cover your face so that you cannot see the land." Ezekiel chapter 12 verse 7 also states, "I went out in the dark and carried the baggage on my shoulder in their sight." The prophet Ezekiel covered his face so that he cannot see the land to portray how shameful the deportation to Babylon would be. Fourth, in their sight. God commanded the prophet Ezekiel to do everything in their sight. Having witnessed these scenes, the Israelites would have no choice but to silently accept everything when the prophecy is indeed fulfilled. Number 2. Meaning of the symbolic action. First, it foreshadows the exile to Babylon. The baggage for exile in Ezekiel chapter 12 verse 4 is keli golah in Hebrew, and it refers to a captive's belongings. This was a prophecy of Israel's deportation to Babylon. The same expression is rendered in Jeremiah chapter 46 verse 19 as baggage ready for exile. Second, it foreshadows that the wall will be torn down. Ezekiel chapter 12 verse 5 states, "Dig a hole through the wall in their sight and go out through it." Here, the wall is kir in Hebrew, referring not to a city wall but a village wall. Since the village wall at the time was made of sun-dried mud bricks, Ezekiel could easily tear it down by himself. This was a prophecy of how the city wall of Jerusalem will collapse when Babylon invades the southern kingdom of Judah.